I will show you how to level skinning and leatherworking from 0 to 300 in about 3 hours, without ever leaving further than one zone away from Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and for virtually free. This guide is better than anything you will find online. Watch to the very end for some easy directions to 375 as well. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. I hope this video finds you all well and in good spirit. So with all the leatherworking recipes that Phase 2 has dropped and with more that is coming in Phase 3 and 4, you may be considering switching professions to skinning and leatherworking. Or perhaps you never trained any professions yet on that boosted alt. In either case, you also may be intimidated to undertake such project, not knowing how long will it take and how much gold will you need to get that leatherworking and skinning all the way to 300. Well, fear not my friends, I got you. First, I will show you how to level skinning from 0 to 300 in about 3 hours time, without leaving more than one zone away from Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Then, using the collected leather and a little bit of gold from sold loot that you would obtain from the downed beasts, and maybe with a small addition from the bank, we will level leatherworking all the way to 300 in one single sitting. This whole endeavor will take a little bit more than 3 hours for both leatherworking and skinning. Now, this guide is not on Wowhead or any other resources to the best of my knowledge. Wowhead sends you on a wild adventure across the continents with travel time alone easily accounting to a third of my entire process. As remember, we're not going any further than one zone away from either Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Well, let's go. I'm going to unlearn my professions here so I can pick up the new ones. And once it's done, we're off. We're off to just outside of the city. Now we're skinning right outside of the capital until the skinning level is 75. So for Alliance, we want to go to any of these fields here. They are full of pigs that respawn like they're on Viagra. Skin everything skinnable on your way there as well, and then skin some more. Super simple. Just go to the farm, kill and skin pigs until your skill of skinning is level 75. Man, that was almost a tongue twister. For the Horde, there are a little bit more running around. There are also pig farms located right here, right outside of Orgrimmar, but these pigs are gray. Skin them until your skill level is 25. Then run south and just kill numerous scorpions, boars, and other beasts. See, for the Horde, many mobs right outside of city gates are higher than level 10, and you will need a skinning a little bit higher than 1 to start skinning mobs over level 10. That's why we want to skin all the gray little piggies first. However you do it, if it's up to you. But for me, I figured that would work best because there are so many of those little pigs in one area. They're all gray, easily killable. You get like 20 corpses that you can skin without much effort. Alright. Well, the first part is now complete. It took me approximately 10 minutes to level my skinning from 0 to 75. So far, so good. Now let's go back to Stormwind or Orgrimmar. In my case, it's Stormwind since I'm Alliance. Sell the gray loot and check your other loot to see if anything sells for a decent amount on the auction house and learn the next level of skinning. It is important to carefully review your loot. Don't just assume that the low-level loot is useless and trash. With most people spending time in the Outlands and very few people leveling and killing these lower level mobs, sometimes these lower level items can be selling for not such low amounts simply because there is very little supply of them. So check all your loot regardless, sometimes it's well worth it. Now we're off to the next zone. For the Alliance, it's the Lakeshire. And for the Horde, yep, you guessed it, it's the Barrens. As an Alliance, I take this path back and forth, killing pigs and whelps. Now, whelps are usually level 18 and up, so you will need skill of at least 90 to be able to skin them. Therefore, I start with all the numerous pigs around the lake, and once my skill is level 90, then I go this route here, and I look for whelps and pigs. So I take this route back and forth. It took me 2 times to go back all the way and then come back. And we are skinning all the way to level 150 here. Now for the Horde, the Barrens is abundant with all sorts of beasts. I would start right here, right outside the bridge, and slowly move inward as your skill continues to advance. All in all, it took me about 15 minutes, or maybe 20 minutes if you count all the travel time and commute around the city. Not bad, 150 already, halfway there. So same thing here, vendor all of your grays, sell whatever sells, and learn the next level of skinning. Now, before we continue with our journey, I wanted to ask you all for a very small favor. If you find this guide useful or helpful, if I help you in any shape or form, please return me a solid by liking and especially subscribing to the channel. It is mega important to me. Help me reach my sub goal of 3,000. I thank you so much. Now, for the next step, we're going to Darkshire as an alliance and Ashenvale as a horde. As an alliance, these areas of Darkshire are the best. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of wolves and worgen here, ranging from level 25 to level 30. I would advise to stay away from the wolves and go straight to the worgen, as with skill level of 150, you are able to skin level 30s. Now, I prefer in skinning here over the Stranglethorn or any other zone simply because of the saturation of these worgens and the respawn rate. Maybe it takes more green skinning runs to level up the skill, but it's still more efficient time-wise versus tracking and chasing beasts in Stranglethorn Vale or any other zone. By the way, in case you didn't know, orange skinning run doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a level up for the skill. It's just a better percentage than the green. You may still have to skin multiple orange bodies to get that level up skill instead of just doing it once like it is with mining, for example. So for the horde, go to the Ashenvale and just kill the beasts around the Splinter Tree post. It's not as efficient as the worgen, as there aren't that many of them, but it will get the job done without going too far from the Orgrimmar. Now, it took me about 25 minutes to get my skinning skill all the way to 225 doing the worgen. If you're doing it in Ashenvale, probably add 10, maybe 15 minutes to that. Wow, skill level 225 in about an hour. That's pretty amazing. By now, you should also have a decent amount of leather collected. Keep it, hang on to that. You may want to deposit some to the bank to keep the inventory slots open. We will need all of that for leveling that leatherworking afterwards. Now, the 225 to 300 stretch is a little bit awkward. At 225, you can only skin mobs up to level 45. But where we're going to only have a few mobs that are level 45. Then the majority of the mobs are going to be in the high 40s and low 50s. So we got two options here. One option, just go to the next zone and start by killing only level 45s until your skill is higher. Or a different option, which I prefer more, go to a different zone for just a little bit to get that skill up to about 240. I prefer the second option as it's quicker, even though it requires a little bit of travel. So as an alliance, my next zone is Blasted Lands. Mobs here range from 45 to 52, and will get my skill all the way to 300. For the Horde, it's a Shara, with the same level range mobs. Now, as an alliance, once I land in the Netherguard Keep, I just ride outside of the Blasted Lands to the Swamp of Sorrows, and kill few jaguars and crocodiles, skin them, and level my skill to 240. Takes me about 5 minutes to just ride outside to the Swamp of Sorrows and then right back into the Blasted Lands. As the Horde, it's a little bit more complicated. The closest similar place is Dustwallow Marsh. But same thing, just fly to Dustwallow Marsh, kill a few raptors, kill a few crocodiles, get your skinning to 240, and then off to Ashara. I found that is the most time efficient path. Now, this path is the lengthiest, or this part of the journey, I should say, is the lengthiest out of what we've done so far, as it does take 3 to 4 kills to get one bump of skinning. Now, you may ask, why not kill mobs in high 50s? Why waddle with this low-level green mobs? And the answer is very simple. Low-level mobs are just so much faster to kill. The time it takes to kill them compensates for the better chance of leveling up your skill, getting that skill bump with the higher level mobs, because you can kill 3 of these by the time you kill one level 60 beast. And it also doesn't require any more travel. We are staying right there in this zone, killing same mobs, no travel, pretty relaxed. And we can still get 300 right here without, like I said, without leaving the zone. As an alliance, I run this loop. killing and skinning all the beasts that I come across, and Blasted Lands is full of them. As the Horde, take this route here. Now the hypogryphs are skinnable, even though they are technically birds, you can still skin them just fine, and they're very abundant in Ashara. Now this part took me over an hour, and with all the commutes and talking to NPCs, I was all finished in a little bit more than 3 hours total, getting my skinning to 300. Now there is one alternative route that may save a whole hour from this last leg of the journey, but not all classes and characters can do it. Now if you are doing this as a level 70 or as a class that can AoE well, don't go to the Blasted Lands or Ashara, go to Sunken Temple. You will hit 300 in a single clear of the Sunken Temple dungeon while making well over 100 gold too. Me as a level 61 hunter, I cannot do that. I have to do it the more conventional way. But if you're a mage or a level 70, go to Sunken Temple. There are way too many dragons out there and you will skin your way to 300 before you finish the run. Now, by this time I had a decent inventory of leather and made 58 gold from selling whatever sold on the auction house and just getting, loose items that I vendored. It was the time to put all these leathers to use and start leveling leatherworking. Now, here is a list of items that will be needed to get leatherworking off the ground and into the 300 range. You will need to buy quite a bit of more leather than what you've skinned, and with price of lower leather swinging wildly between the servers, you may have enough gold to buy the rest or you may not. In my case, the leathers on my server were pretty up by the time I was doing this, so I had to mail my alt or my hunter 250 gold from my bank alt. Now, it's just very hard to predict due to lower level leathers are not being farmed nearly as much in TBC and the demand for them also being hit or miss. I have seen them go dirt cheap on the auction houses, no one's buying them, and then in the other case, in the case what we're having here for this video, the price holds steady at 50 silver for rugged leather and 20 silver for thick. So it depends. So I can't make an educated estimate of how much gold will you need in addition to buy the leather. You may have already enough gold, or you may need to add a little bit more. But after all, what is 200 gold? That's like an hour farming the primals in the Outlands. Besides, I got most of it back anyway, because after I've made all these green items, I mailed it to my enchanter, I disenchanted it, and I sold the disenchanting materials, which was like almost 100 green items that I disenchanted. And I made about almost 150 gold just selling the disenchanted materials. So I got most of my gold back anyway. But here is the list of the cheapest, least expensive items that you need to make on your way to 300. Here is the full list of items that you need to make. Once you are the 300 in both professions, you will be progressing them to 375 in the Outlands. To level skinning to 375, it's very simple. Just kill and skin mobs in your appropriate level area as you're leveling. If you are already level 70, then skin the pigs in Hellfire Peninsula until skill level of 330, then go to Nagrand and skin your pants off until you're 375, as Nagrand has an abundance of all types and sorts of beasts, and a lot of quests that support killing them. Don't forget the quests. For leatherworking, the cheapest and least resource required path is to make knot-hide leather from leather scraps, and then knot-hide armor kits from the leather you just made until your skill level is 325. At 325, get a heavy knot-hide recipe from Crow in Shatra City over here and make heavy knot-hide leather until 335. 335 to 350, make thick Dranic vest. 350 to 365, heavy knot-hide armor kits. And from 365 to 375, make drums of battle. That is it. Now, with so many guides out there and so many years to this game, I was genuinely surprised to see that all the guides sent me on a world tour or had me buy thousands of gold worth of leathers and hides to level up the skills. I have not seen a guide that accomplishes all of this in little over 3 hours without leaving more than one zone away from the capital and not spending more than 100 to 200 gold on the whole thing. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you in the Outlands. Good night.